Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the MylesHighClub podcast. I am your host, Myles. This is episode 9, I believe. Consistency is key. Shout out to everyone who didn't think I would keep it up for this long. This is episode 9, so that means 9 weeks I have kept this up, and I don't plan on stopping soon. How is everyone out there? I hope you're all doing well. I am fantastic. I don't know if this is being picked up on camera, but I can see my breath rapid, which is why I am holding said hot chocolate in my hand to hopefully keep me warm. I mean, this is I could do ASMR now. I've got a new mic. This is just one of those. This is one of those thermal flasks that keeps your drink really cold for a really long time, or it keeps your drink really hot for a really long time. And it's also metal, so if I brought a normal mug in here, it would get cold really quick because it's cold in here. And I might smash it if I bring it over. But that's why I've brought this in. I do have topics and I do have a mini rant that I do plan on going on. But having this drink, I started talking to myself, as you do, and thought to myself, if you were to take, let's say, the 3 most common hot drinks out there, standard cup of tea, a standard coffee, black or white, and a standard hot chocolate, how would you rate those 3 drinks? This is probably really, I don't know if it's really easy for everyone or if picking their number 1 is really easy. I think for me, I would go, if I was to go standard, I'd go a standard hot chocolate, number 1, don't at me. Then a standard cup of tea, then a standard coffee. If you then take the whole umbrella, so you have the hot chocolates, the white hot chocolates, luxury hot chocolates as one category, your coffees, your lattes, your macchiatos, your cappuccinos, your your frappuccinos, your mochachinos, whatever, all the chinos and all the coffees. And then you have all your teas, like your normal teas, your fruity teas, your herbal teas. What order would you then rank the hot chocolate category, coffee category, and tea category? I'm a big herbal tea drinker, so I think that's where my change might be. Tea might go number 1. Herbal teas all day, lemon and ginger with a bit of honey. Who's number 2? Hot chocolate number 2, and coffee. Only because, don't get me wrong, I used to live on coffee. I think I've already told the story about when I used to work in British Gas. British Gas in a call centre. That's when I first had like a mocha because someone said it was chocolate and cappuccino mixed together. Then had cappuccinos. Then started drinking lattes. Then I became more fancy. Only used to drink like caramel lattes. Then discovered Starbucks. Listen, I've probably only started to go Starbucks and Costa, but Starbucks in particular in the past 2-3 years. I don't think I've ever wandered into a Starbucks before then. Don't ask me. I never know why. I always used to think Starbucks was expensive, but So let me know how you'd rank them. Standard it goes hot chocolate, tea, coffee, and then if we involve all the specialities, I think it would then change for me. Tea, hot chocolate, and coffee still at the bottom. Only because coffee, out of all those drinks, coffee's the one that I'd actively avoid. Coffee doesn't wake me up either. I'm sure coffee is like a placebo. And there's plenty of people out there now that are like, oh no, I couldn't do it. I swear to God, I couldn't get by without coffee. But that is literally how a placebo works. Because the amount of times I used to drink a coffee either before I left the house or when I was on my long 2, 3, 4 hour drive sometimes, thinking the coffee would wake me up. Never. Coffee has never once woke me up. The easiest way I used to wake myself up, pull over, if I could, get a drink, get a bottle of water, and put music on that you can sing to. It's the only thing that keeps me awake. Winding my windows down doesn't keep me awake, it just makes me really cold, which then makes me put my heating on, which makes me more sleepy. A bottle of water, and like things that are really going to stretch your vocal cords. I'm talking R&B, like late 90s, early noughties R&B. Beyonce, Rihanna, Lizzo, Mariah Carey, that kind of catalogue that really gets them vocal. Yeah, anything that I have to get fully involved in, that is how I stay awake. But I'm going to have one last sip of this and we'll get into some topics. It's still really hot. I don't know how good that mic is, so if you just heard me gulping and slurping, I do apologise. Oh, God. I'm one of those people that complains about hot chocolate being hot, even though it's in the title, hot chocolate. But, leave me alone. So, let's get in with today's topics. The first one, I don't know how much of a rant I'm going to go on because Oh, my flash is on. I was gonna talk about this last week, but it was too fresh, and the wounds were still wide open. And now I'm also not in denial. So now I feel like I've calmed down enough to talk about how I was scammed out of getting a PlayStation 5. First of all, anyone that is a scalper, whether you scalp PlayStations, trainers, tickets, fuck yourself. I said that. And I'll come back to that as well. So, here's what happened. I was trying to be a good father, trying to be the good father that I am. And I said to myself, I'm not going to pre-order a PlayStation, a PS5, because I want to make sure I've got all my daughter's Christmas presents. Out of everyone in my life, I was like, as long as I've got my daughter's Christmas presents, once all that's sorted, I can think about buying everyone else their presents. Sorry, that's just how it goes now. So, brought all my daughter's presents, and I was like, oh, I still got some change left. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, the PlayStation 5 came out for pre-order and then sold out in its pre-order phase after about, I think it was like 13 minutes. It might have been quicker than that, but definitely 30 minutes after it was launched. There was not a pre-order in sight. So I was like, boom, I'll wait till launch day, because I know launch day is going to have some. Then we plummeted back into lockdown, so my plans of waking up at, I'm not even saying this for the podcast, I was considering, depending on what time opening times was, I was genuinely going to leave my house at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and go to the nearest place I knew that was going to be selling a PS5. I'd have done it. I'd have sat in my car until I started seeing, if the queue was getting ridiculous, I would have sat in my car until I started to see the queue get into ridiculous sizes, jumped out in all of the clothing possible, battery packs on me, because I'm going to be sat on my phone just binge watching something while I wait until I got it. But we went into lockdown, so it was all online. Let me tell you this, anyone that follows my Instagram would have seen my story, but I had my laptop, I had 2 tablets, and I had 3 or 4 phones. Again, if you're asking why I've got so many electronic devices, I told you I work for Samsung. I need all these devices. So I had all of these on everything. I think I had 2 things on Game, I had 2 things on John Lewis, something on Curry's, something on Very, something on Amazon. And I also had another device that had a stock checker, and it was telling me, I was literally refreshing it every 10 seconds, because it was like, all these shops are selling them at 7, these shops are going to sell them at 10, these shops will sell them at noon. It was telling me all the times that were getting pushed back. Listen, I was getting pushed back from 7 o'clock in the morning. Everywhere was getting pushed back. So I was like, okay, I haven't missed it. Everything's being pushed back. And then who was the first culprit? The first culprit for me, John Lewis. Clicked on John Lewis, then when it's busy sometimes, you hit refresh and you get stuck in a queue. I got stuck in a queue on my phone, but I'm in my laptop, but not on my phone. So I'm going through, hit games, hit game console, PS5, add to basket. When I tell you that if I didn't close that tab down, my add to basket would still be spinning. Sorry about that. My add to basket would still be spinning on John Lewis. Listen, it was spinning on my phone. I was thinking, fuck. And I think my phone was on Wi-Fi, and I was shook to think. I was like, so I come off Wi-Fi and see if that works. But I was like, I ain't risking it. So then my laptop loaded, PS5's in stock, add to bag, same thing happened. Both my phone and laptop now on John Lewis website, add to bag, and it's just spinning. It's just spinning, and I'm sat there for a good 5 minutes while it's spinning. I'm like, do I refresh it? Do I click something else? I refreshed both pages. Both of them got lost. Who was the next one? I think Game was another one that dropped at like 9 or 10. I was on Game all morning. As soon as that PlayStation 5 went live, I got kicked out, thrown into a queue. By the time I got back in there, all sold out. Same thing happened to Curry's. I was refreshing. I was on Curry's on 3 different things. And then I hit refresh one time, and then boom, you are 6,000 in the queue. I was like, yo, how did 6,000 people get in this queue in the time it took me to hit refresh? But that's a story for another day. It's not a story for another day. I'm just not getting into how the fuck all this shit works. See, you can hear me getting triggered now. So yeah, Curry's flopped. So I had John Lewis. I'm never shopping there again. I know it's not their fault, but what you need to understand is I'm a petty person. So I'm never shopping there again, even though they do amazing guarantees on their tech products. My mum always used to buy TVs from John Lewis. Little information about Marjo though. So yeah, John Lewis added to bag on 2 devices. Let's just say it crashed, F me over. Game, very, everyone, curries, and then I kept checking my that app I was telling you about, and it kept coming up. Push back to 10, push back to 9, oh, out of stock. The digital and the standard edition, out of stock everywhere. And my last hope was Amazon. 12 o'clock, and they're refreshing it, 5 past, 10 past, quarter past, nothing is happening. This is how into it I was. It was 17 minutes past on my phone. I hit refresh, all of a sudden, boom, PlayStation 5, 44999, add to basket. Hit add to basket, and then it comes up on Amazon, continue shopping or head to basket. I was like, come on. Pressed head to basket. It went zoom, jumped over. I can now see on my phone there is a PlayStation in my basket. I'm fully staring at my phone like this. I'm like, okay, I'm like, calm down. I'm like, babe, calm down. Everyone calm down. As soon as I hit checkout, I don't know what witchcraft and wizardry happened, but I hit checkout and automatically my screen flashed and all of a sudden it said PlayStation 5 saved for later. No. Nope. I don't want to save it for later. I want it now. I want it now. I want it right now. I was like that, is it Violet, the girl off Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? When I tell you I was the most spoiled, entitled person on earth that day, I was like, I want it now. I was like, no. Press refresh. It's in save for later. I clicked on it, add to basket again, save to later. I've now got 3 PlayStations in save to later, removed 2, kept refreshing. Every time I then clicked on it from there on, it was like, your basket is unavailable. I was like, you cannot be doing this to me. Please tell me you're not doing this to me right now. You can tell from the start of this, yeah, all gone. All of them, every single PlayStation that I tried to go for went. I don't know what the stock was. I don't know how many numbers there were. They had all gone. And I was literally sat there. It got to about 1 o'clock. And I had checked for the remainder of the day in case anyone else dropped any stock later on. And I was sat there and I was thinking to myself, there is no way me and my 6 or 7 devices on multiple websites did not secure one PlayStation. And everyone listening at home, yes, I had 6 or 7 devices. I was only ever going to buy one PlayStation. I wasn't going to buy 2 and sell one to a friend for the same price. I wasn't going to try and buy 2 or 3 and then flip them for some extra change. I'm not a bum. So I wasn't doing that. So there we go. PlayStation was all gone, sold out. And I was like, fuck, not quick enough. So the next thing happened, I spent the next few days Googling PS5 stock, when's it coming back into stock. While all this is happening, I then see on... is it Twitter I start seeing it? I think I start seeing it on Twitter. People uploading pictures of like 50 PlayStations and 50 Xbox Series X and 50 PS5s. And I'm just like, listen, these are all fake. I'm like, this is either someone in the Sony warehouse or someone in a warehouse somewhere just trying to go viral. And that's the only thing I could think of. And then I started seeing all the reports that there was some group's been shouting their mouth off recently, and they was talking about, oh, our group has secured over 1,000 PlayStation 5s and over another 1,000 Xbox Series X. And these are the fucking scalpers I was talking about. These pricks, these lowlives, these sons of bitches. That means I'm talking about your mom. Yes, you. They went out and just brought 10, 20, 30, however many PS5s and all that they could. Not to give to the family. Not to donate to charity and give out to refresh or rekindle their soul and get them accepted into heaven. No, so that they can flip it for a fucking $200, $250 whatever profit. Oh, it gets me so mad. And for everyone out there thinking, I can't believe Myles is getting this mad because he didn't get a PlayStation 5. 1, shut your mouth, don't judge me. Number 2, it's not just for the PS5. I'm someone that's, up until like 5-6 years ago, I'd never ever been to a music concert, never been to a festival. It was just one of those things where I hate being around a lot of people, and it just didn't sound like something I would enjoy. Until I went to BBC One Extra in Birmingham, and that was when it was Rick Ross and Mary J. Blige. Yeah, Rick Ross and Mary J. Blige were hosting. So I'm glad I went to that, because I can now say I've seen Mary J. Blige live. It's one of those acts that I can just say, oh, I've seen them. But anyway, yeah. And I remember buying tickets for that was hell. And when you've been to a few of them, you know when you've got you and 5-6 other friends all trying to buy sets of 4 tickets, just so at least one of you's got some tickets, so that all your friends can go. And certain people can't get tickets, or you're able to get tickets, but it's a struggle, or you've got to wait in their queue, or the process is longer, and it happened, was it a few years ago when they put the tickets up and then everyone rushed to it, so it crashed, so they went there and refunded everyone, and then re-released the tickets again a few days or the next week. One of them, was it Leeds? It was either Leeds or Liverpool. This is BBC One Extra again. I kept trying to buy tickets and it kept saying failed. And then I went to the petrol station one day on the way to work, and my card declined in the petrol station. I was like, yeah, how has my card declined? Gone onto my bank account, and all those times that I was trying and it kept telling me payment not accepted, it hasn't gone through, it's failed, refresh your page or anything, I got charged, I think it was like 8 times for all these tickets. Now, I know what you're thinking, back then it was what? It was £10 a ticket. That was Birmingham, was £10 a ticket. This time it was like what, 15 something pound a ticket, plus your administration fees. And this is £15 a ticket, times that by 4, that's 60. 6 times 8, add the 0. That's a lot of money to be coming out of my bank. And back then, this wasn't when I just had, I don't have disposable income now at the minute, in case someone's thinking I'm rich. But this is when I used to like live paycheck to paycheck. I'm talking, I'd have money on payday, and then 2 weeks later, I used to have to map out the rest of my life to see how I was going to get by from one day to another. And I'm always someone that always full tank the car. So I think I had like £10-20 in, so I was able to put something in to get me to work and get back before I could ring the bank and sort all that out. But I'm someone that always full tanks the petrol. I'm not going to judge anyone out there that only does 10, 15, 20, but no. Whenever it comes to, if I go to the petrol station, whether I've got an empty tank or half a tank, I am full tanking my car. Regardless. Mum always used to say, you never know what's going to happen, always full tank your car. So I was like, you know what, Mum? I would take your advice. And again, if you're watching this with me, have a sip of your drink. That is still very hot. So yeah, those ticket scalpers, so then we used to do all this. You used to go for all this struggle, all this pain to get your ticket. You get your ticket, you'd be on Twitter and Instagram, you'd see people pissed that they're not going to be able to go and see their favourite UK artist or see someone flying in. You can hear them all on the radio. Some of your friends didn't get tickets. You're like, oh, that's a shame, but I've got mine. And then you get there, and this what pisses me off, because you get there on the day, and there's these fucking tramps walking around. I don't care if you're one of these people and you're getting offended. You got these idiots walking around in their knockoff tracksuits or their JD tracksuits with their knockoff Gucci LV hats and bags and run-down Nike Air Maxes that they've had for about 15 years that they probably scammed someone to get them as well. And they're just there with a handful of tickets. Like, these people must have like 100 odd tickets, and they're, £20 a ticket, £40 a ticket. And the worst thing about this is there are people out there who are that desperate to see these things that they pay. That's the only reason why this is such a lucrative business, because I did my research before I came on here, and unfortunately it is not illegal. But it's, I don't know, you're probably thinking, of course it's not illegal, Myles, but no, there should be some kind of law that's when things are dropping or things are releasing that limits to how many different things you can buy. Surely, because if I walk into a Tesco and buy 50 litres of bleach, I'm going to get stopped and questioned. So I feel like you should get stopped and questioned. Surely Sony don't want you surely the shops don't want you buying their stuff and then selling it on a higher price. Like, confectionery companies and drink companies literally sell multi-packs and then stamp on it not to be sold separately. That's what they should do. Sony, when you send them your PlayStation, not to be sold in bulk, 2 per customer max. But yes, there was this group, they were online, they were bragging. My one friend at work, who's in the same position as me, couldn't get a PlayStation, untried all morning. He sent me a meme. I haven't even got my work phone on me, otherwise I'd read it out. But it was something like, it was some guy, not got himself in the picture, took a picture of a table full of PlayStations and Xboxes. And the picture said something like, secured 50 of these and 40 of these, reselling them, at me now, fuck your feelings, things like that. And then and then he sent me another picture, which was, I'm sure it was a news report. And long story short, it was a news report saying that the guy that had sent out that tweet got robbed and got all his stuff taken, and good on him, deserves him right. This was in America, so it's not like I know the person that did it and that's why I'm secretly happy because I'm waiting for mine. No. He just, that just happened. I've also seen videos going around online as well of people messaging people to meet up with them and like, oh, I'll sell you my PlayStation. and then they're meeting up with them and trying to rob them. Listen, this is what happens when you play with people's feelings. I do not condone robbery or any illegal activities, but sometimes shit happens. What else is that? I don't watch it. Was it Love? No, might not have been Love Island. It was one of those. I'm not gonna call them stupid because I like Love Island, but it was one of those UK reality Love Island made in Chelsea, Towie. One of those programs. Some famous guy off there. He got gifted. Listen, he got gifted. So he didn't even spend his own money. He got gifted a PlayStation 5 by Sony or by someone. And then was online like, oh, the PlayStation 5 shit. I sold mine for 1,200 and carried on playing my PlayStation 4. Oh, I was so mad. I was so mad. So mad. Like, Sony, find these people that have been buying all these products, set up a boxing ring, make them line up with every single disappointed, pissed off person that they've stole from, and they should just have a boxing match. For every person they beat, they get to keep their PlayStation. And if they lose the first fight, they then have to get back up on their feet and keep fighting for every single PlayStation or Xbox that they brought out there to scalp. Because I don't care if it's illegal. Piss me off. And then there's an actual group for this. Like, it's a thing where there's a group that charges, I think it's £40 a month or 300 and something pound for a lifetime membership. And anytime something like this drops, or they all either get together and they'll all work on trying to buy as many as they can. And then once they've all brought them, they'll like tell each other and brag and boast each other that they've got these things, and then they'll just start selling them at a marked up price. I know there's kids out there that have done it. I know there's kids out there that have done it with trainers and they got rich and they turned their life around. Fuck that. No, not fuck that kid. I think here we go. Here's me being biased, because to me it's very different. It is very different. The joy and the entertainment and everything that you can get out of a PS5 and what that PS5 brings to not only you, but the family. This is not an ad either. I am not getting paid by Sony. If I was, I'd have a PS5. I wouldn't be pissed on camera. But scalpers, man. That's what happened. So then they were bragging and boasting. Apparently they've got some code that allows them to bulk buy all these things online. So they weren't, because I was like, how do you get this many? I had 6 things on there. In my head, it was a warehouse full of virgins and lowlives all just sat at a table. And as soon as it went live with their incredibly high-speed hacked internet from somewhere, they were just able to get them in front of everyone and just keep buying and keep. But there's some sort of code that they hacked for that website that allows them to bulk buy and do all sorts of things like that. Because of all this bragging and boasting, and because it is this guy, the one person that speaks up for this group was like, oh, a lot of people have been furloughed and lost their jobs, and doing this, they've been able to put food on their table for their children, no regrets. Shut the fuck up. Because if we didn't have a lockdown and furlough never happened, those low-living scumbags would still have done the exact same thing. They would have done the exact same thing. And he's like, no regrets. What? So you got to feed one child by undercutting, theft, thievery, robbing another 1,000 or 999 children and me of pure entertainment, enjoyment, and just fulfillment on what should be one of a good Christmas on what has been one of the worst years as a 27-year-old that lives in the UK in history. As a 27-year-old in the UK, remember those caveats. Don't act me like, oh my God, 9/11, yes, that was really bad, but it didn't affect me that much. Whereas COVID is fucking me up. But yeah, and then again, I was looking at this the other day. So there was all whispers about, oh, we got all these consoles, but they never told you where they got them from. Again, I don't know how all these things get found out. Apparently it got found out that they got them all from Very. Very then clocked onto all of this. So Very have allegedly cancelled. They said they cancelled the 1,000 orders, or they cancelled over 1,000 orders. But they cancelled over 1,000 orders, and they cancelled any orders that were multiple orders to the same address. So if you've got 2-3 kids and you wanted to maybe get 2 of your kids a PlayStation 5, which, yeah, that is fair. Everyone in the household should have a console. You can't expect everyone to share. Not in this day and age, anyway. A lot of people had their orders cancelled, and they were just, that's nothing that these scalpers did. They fucked it up for the people who genuinely wanted and got themselves a PlayStation. Because there's people out there who got themselves a PlayStation, all fine, all hunky-dory, and then their orders got cancelled and they're being told they're going to have to wait up to 10 days for a refund. Which, again, depending on who you are, if you're someone that lives payday to payday, depending on when that refund, like when you get told it's up to 10 days and you don't know when there's another stock of PlayStations dropping, you might think to yourself, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get this for whoever in time for Christmas. And that's especially when you've already got it. Imagine that feeling saying added to basket, the email comes through saying email confirmed. Who else did it? Was it John Lewis or Curry's? They accidentally uploaded their stock onto the site early and started selling early, so then they had to cancel all of those early ones for their fuck up. I was like, eesh. And then the one thing I took as a silver lining, I saw something and I was like, maybe I wasn't supposed to get a PlayStation 5 then. A bunch of people that ordered PlayStation 5s from Amazon, when their delivery came, it was bags of rice. That is not slang for shit or bad or crap. Literal bags of long grain, basmati, golden vegetable, coconut rice. I don't know if it was all those flavors, but I'm just trying to get my point across. That would have, I don't even know if I would have done a video. I might not have done a podcast last week if I'd ordered my PlayStation 5, got it, opened the box and a bag of rice. First of all, I would have opened it. I don't even know how quick I would have opened it to say that I would have opened it and then chased down the delivery driver. Because if I was, in my head, if I opened it straight away and looked in there and saw a bag of rice, that delivery driver's not leaving. I'm not saying I was going to kidnap him. I'm not saying I would cause him any physical harm. I'm just letting you know now, if I brought a PlayStation, got my hopes up, and then the delivery came and it was a bag of rice or a box of washing up powder, that delivery driver would not have left the premises until I had gotten my PlayStation 5. I'd have been like, ring your boss. I'd have been like, fuck it, ring Jeff Bezos, go straight to the top. You work for Amazon, just ring him and say, yo, Myles has got a bag of rice here, he ordered a PlayStation. I'm not allowed to leave his property until then. Can we sort this out, please, so I can go home tonight, preferably. And that's how it would have gone down. So, oh man, I was going through an emotional roller coaster. Especially when I know so many people like who I play PlayStation with that actually got a PlayStation as well. And then on my phone, I've got the PlayStation app. So when I go on the PlayStation app to see if anyone's online, it has the little symbols so that you know if they're online on a PS4 or on a PS5. And I could just keep seeing these PS5s. And it's getting to me. It really got to me. You know what else didn't help? It didn't help that they just announced the second lockdown. So I had a whole, no, I didn't have a whole, no, I did. I had a whole plan. So, sneak peek into what's happening in my life. I still am thinking about starting a gaming channel. Listen, I'm not some amazing gamer. It's just another stream. It's just another stream for me to get out. I was thinking to myself, I play games for like an hour or two, couple of times a week. Why not start doing some game streaming? Maybe some people want to listen to me talk shit whilst playing a game. Maybe I get a little bit. I don't even want maximum fame. Maybe I just get big enough that I can start making money by playing games. That's the goal, to start making money from playing games and talking to you lovely, lovely people down my phone lens as well. Not money from you, but just from ad revenues and sponsorships and deals. It's a long-term goal. I'm not expecting all that to happen straight away, don't you? I've spoken to a few people, so my head is currently screwed on and I understand that it is a lengthy process and that's why consistency is key. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. I'm going to start a gaming channel. I even had it all planned out in my head. I was going to kick off the gaming channel with an unboxing video. I was then going to be doing one video a week playing campaigns, starting with the Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then do one video a week of online gaming, probably Call of Duty. Maybe 2 videos, one of Call of Duty Online, one of Warzone, and then start mixing it all up. But I had it literally all planned out in my head what I was going to do. I'd even been speaking to someone, Callie, if you're listening. I was also talking to Callie and speaking to Callie about me and her possibly doing a gaming channel together. Me covering off the Sony PlayStation side, and then Callie covering off the Xbox Series X side, because she actually got one. hers was nearly little side note, hers was nearly a heartbreaking story. Pre-ordered her Xbox and then got an email off, I want to say Amazon, to say that she's not going to be getting the Xbox on launch day like she originally thought, and it would arrive at some point before the end of December, which I know how much she loves her games. I felt her pain. Luckily, I think she got it like the next day or 2-3 days later, but there we go. But yes, I had it all planned in my head. I was going to start my own gaming channel, and then they announced lockdown, so I was like, I'm still working from home, so it's not like I just get to sit at home and do nothing. It's not a shot at anyone on furlough. I'm not saying that you're sitting at home doing nothing, but you're not exactly working, are you? You know what I mean? So I was still going to be working, but I was like, I'm going to be on it's going to be lockdown again. People are going to be sat in their houses. There's going to be a lot of gamers gaming. They probably want to watch people gaming. So I was like, and it's lockdown. I was like, another fucking lockdown. Getting a PS5 will just bring my hopes up just a little bit. I'm not a materialistic person, but it was just one of those things. Gaming is another stream for me. I think you should all have your own stream. And what I mean by stream, it's just a way to relieve. You know, like I don't know how to get it out, but you know when you're just agitated, you might be like agitated or fussy or bored, or you feel like you're holding things in and you just need a stream. When I was younger, that used to be dance. I used to dance so much, like 5 times a week. I used to dance at one point. The dancing was a stream. Like, no matter what happened in the day, especially on a Monday, no matter what happened on a Monday, I always knew, at 6 o'clock, I've got dance with the boys for a few hours and everything is going to be okay. And it was that. So this podcast acts as a stream for me because it's just me talking and venting. Playing games acts as a stream. Walking the dog even. So I just get up and walk out of the house and go and walk the dog. So everyone needs a stream. So that's what I was looking to create. And then lockdown came. I didn't get my PS5. It was just a stream blocked and my plans were blocked. And I'm an impatient person. So because I'm impatient, I really wanted to do it all there and then. And then I was like, oh, I've got to wait. I don't know how long I've been talking about this, but as you can tell, it really, really, really got to me. And then, because I wanted to start a gaming channel, I was like, well, I can't exactly start an efficient gaming channel in my living room because the family is in the house, so it just wouldn't work. I'm not locking myself in the bedroom and the biggest and best TV's downstairs in the living room. I can't go, Bab, take the baby upstairs, go on, lock yourselves in the bedroom. Oh, you, upstairs. I can't just kick people out, the dog. So, starting the podcast, the gaming channel, something in my head just dropped and I was like, you know what you should do, Myles? Just convert your garage. A few people have been around, so like a few of my friends have been around to my garage. I have no DIY knowledge. I have none of that manly stuff. I couldn't even build a shelf. I could put up a shelf with instructions. You give me an instruction booklet, I am 70 to 80% confident. If it's an IKEA one, slightly higher because I feel like IKEA have got their instruction booklets down. But my bike that you can't see out here, I got that from Argos. Whoa. I don't know how long it took me to put my bike together. And if you've ever brought a bike, most of that shit comes together. You've only got to put the wheels on and the handlebars. And that was a struggle for me, just so you know. So like, I've had friends come round and they're just talking nonsense. It's not nonsense, but they're just like, oh, you just do this here, do this here, do this here, do this here. And then boom, it's a living environment. And I'm just like, listen, you need to slow all the way down. So let me tell you what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to turn my garage into a studio. Nothing fancy, nothing like, the reason I'm saying nothing fancy is because I'm not spending $6,000 or however much it's going to take to fully do it myself, get it done properly. So I was going to do it myself with a little help from my friends. So I have no idea if this is going to work. So anyone listening to this, if you think this will work or it won't work, I need to tweak it, again, get in the comments and let me know. But from what all of my friends have said, what I need to do, here is the plan, which I was meant to do on the weekend, but then it was pointed out to me that it's the winter now. So 1, you're never going to get a dry enough day. If I leave everything outside, it's going to rain. 2, it's cold. 3, it gets dark early, so I can't even work for as long as I wanted to. And again, I'm still working Monday to Friday, so it's only the weekends I have, really. I wish I'd done this in the summer. I wish I'd started all this in the summer earlier. It would have just been so much easier in life. So, here's the plan. Take everything out of the garage. Get rid of it all. Take it out. Just go away. And then you guys can't see. I might turn the camera one day, but my whole setup at the minute, I don't want to just mess around with it. But you guys can't see the amount of spider webs, dead insects, and just blech. That best way to just blech, that is in my garage. It's just a garage. So I was gonna come in. I brought a pressure washer on Friday. It's in the house. I haven't brought it into the garage yet. Brought a pressure washer. Take everything out and pressure wash the shit out of the garage. Literally wash it all. Get all the flaky bits off the wall. Get all the cobwebs, all the dead spiders. Get everything down. Just wash it all out. Leave it to dry. And then I brought expanding foam. Like in my head, I was so on it to convert this garage because I thought, because you don't know these things. You think it's going to take a couple of hours, but it's like a 2-3 day project. You lot are just thinking, Myles, you dipping your finger in your hot chocolate. Don't judge me, okay? Again, still really hot. So take everything out of the garage, pressure washer everything down, expanding foam, go around, and you can't even see them, but all these little, I told you before that my garage floods, so there's a crack or a leak somewhere. It's not from the roof, it's from the lower levels, but I don't know where. So expanding foam, go around all the little cracks, crevices, nooks and crannies with expanding foam and fill it all in, fill all that in. Next, from YouTube videos, I need to buy timber and then like grid up. I've already don't know what I'm doing. Somehow stick them to the wall. I'm assuming a nail or like a drill. Nail all my timber to the wall for like the padding. Then get some insulation. I need to buy insulation, put the insulation, fill in the gaps with that insulation, and then get plasterboard and cover the walls of plasterboard. And I feel like that, and then I can paint over the plasterboard, and I think that's done. I don't know how to do the floor. Someone did say to me, apparently you can get some tiles. So you just buy tiles, put the tiles down, and then put insulation down, and then just put vinyl or whatever you want down on top of that, and that's the floor done, apparently. The roof, I like the aesthetic on the roof, so I don't think I would actually, as long as the roof's got all the support it needs, I wouldn't actually change anything on my roof. I've got these I don't know if you can see them, but I've got these rusty metal bars. I don't actually know if they're there keeping the garage up. I feel like they would be for support. So I think I'd have to leave them up. I'd just sand them down, then metal paint and go over them. And then boom, I have a studio. Move my sofa down to that end. Get a nice little table. Put the green screen. That's the main reason the green screen hasn't gone up it yet either. Because I don't have to put the green screen up and then take it down and all of that. But the green screen will be going up very, very soon. Yeah, get some cool lights. You know what I mean? Again, this is a garage, so I've got my washing machine and dryers there. So I'd leave the washing machine and dryer right at the top end. I've got like those typical garage shelves, move them over there, put the barbecue in the garden, buy a shed and whack the bike in there, and there's some of the garden tools in the shed. And then it just frees up so much space in my garage. But this shit is expensive. And no one tells you, well, people might tell you this, but they don't tell you this until it's time to start doing it. It's like for me, I think the only person, my mum used to tell me to save all the time. It's like save, save, save. Never used to tell me why. She was just like, you should always save. My mum I think her mum told her about the rule of 3 or rule of thirds. You save a third of your paycheck. You use another third of your paycheck for your bills and your whatnots. And then the other third of your paycheck is for you to live on. I don't think I've ever followed that rule. There are times where I wish I did. And there are other times where I had a lot of fun in Napa and then came back to England broke until the next payday. But that is the joys of being a teenager. But yeah, I want to make sure that I'm sticking on track. But they don't tell you how expensive things are. So I was like, how much to convert this garage as well? If I do it myself, don't think it's going to be a proper job. It might cost me under $1,000, I think. I'll speak to people and they were like, if you get someone in to come and do that themselves, I'll probably charge you like $3-4 grand. And right, let me just another one. I've only been in this house. I've been in this house less than 2 years. I'll be in this house 2 years in March. We got the keys in January, but we moved in March just as our daughter was. So I would say, yeah, less than 2 years. I'm one of these people that when I see something, I want to get it done. Luckily, when we brought the house, the bathroom, kitchen, and boiler was already done. I'll touch on that in a sec, but that was already done. So we decorated the house. We got the house decorated exactly how we wanted it to be. And then you think to yourself, ooh, we ain't got to worry about decorating now for like another 5-10 years, because that's perfect that people decorate every 5 years or so. But then there's all the other things, there's the big jobs. So like our drive, we've got like a concrete drive and then the green grass garden next to it. Sounds like not a big house, it's just a really long concrete drive and then a bit on the front. We've been wanting to get it done. The tarmac's uneven, it's dangerous. I feel like one day the postman's going to fall and sue me. And I have to park on the road. And even though we live on a school road, it's the only reason why I hate parking on the road. It's not a busy area. Like between like 8:30 and 9 when it's the morning, and between about 2:30 and 3:30 when it's a school run, my road is horrible. But that's Monday to Friday. Any other time of the day or the weekend, the roads are pretty much empty. It's like its own little estate, so it's not like we have through traffic coming through. If you drive down my road, I'm assuming you live there or you live close around. You don't need to drive down my street any other way. So we wanted the drive done. In my head, I've never had a drive done, so I'm thinking, a couple of grand. 7 grand, and that's just a ballpoint average. I think the lowest we've had to do our drive was 5 grand, and not that I don't judge people at all, but the person said 5 grand. I didn't really trust it. The only reason we got a quote from them is because they've done 2 doors down. They did their drive and it looks okay to me. We had someone else come to do a quote on the drive. I watched him pull up, he knocked the door. I said, yeah, 2 seconds, let me put my trainers on, shut the door. I watched him walk to the bottom of my drive, walk down, inspect the other drive, and then come back over before I said anything. And I was like, we want exactly what they've got. And he was like, okay, you want exactly what they've got, but a better job. And I was like, huh? I was like, yeah, it's a better job. He's like, oh. He's like, hey, it looks like a shit job. He goes, it looks like our gypsy friends have done this. He said that, not me. I'm not even paraphrasing. Like, he said this word for word. He was like, it looks like our gypsy friends have done it. And I was like, how the fuck does he know that? Because they didn't have any signs up. And it was, I shouldn't assume they were gypsies, but if we're going to stereotype, they were gypsy-esque. So I was like, damn, it must be a shit job. He was more priced than them, 7 grand, 8 grand. Every quote, we've got about 4 or 5 quotes now, all between the 6 and 8 grand mark. And I'm just like, yo, I just bought this house and had a baby. Like, I don't have 8 grand coming out my arse to spend on a fucking drive. Again, some people are listening to this and thinking, yeah, Myles, if you do your drive, it adds value to your house. 1, I understand that. 2, I've been in this house for 2 years. I don't care about adding value to my house. At this point in time, I'm worried about living in this house. I am not concerned about selling it. Unless I win the lottery, or unless I end up having another child, and we need more room for it. Ain't point, it's hypothetical, baby. And we need more room for it. I have no intentions of moving from this house. None, yeah. Neighbours are cool. Yeah, I love you can't even see these guys. These neighbours, best neighbours I've ever had. I used to have a few neighbours at my mum's. These guys are best neighbours I've ever had. Everyone else, I'm just in one of those really friendly neighbours. Where I've moved from, everyone kept themselves to themselves. To now, I can't open my front door without someone saying hello. I'm just like, hey, old lady across the road. Every time I put our bins out, I'm like, hey, you right? Looking good. Still alive. So yeah, that was the drive. We want to get the garden done. The things you don't think about when you're buying a house. You want a flat drive? Think about your ideas for a drive. Do you want grass? Do you want to be able to park on your drive? A flat garden. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you want a flat garden. I have a flat garden in 3 parts. Like my garden, I don't know why I keep looking at it. My garden is tiered. So I've got the bottom tier here, which when we moved in was like slabs with pebbles all the way around. But because we got a dog, because we were getting a dog, I picked up all those pebbles. So now it's just slab on top of concrete and looks shit. Then we've got some steps, and the steps, they got a middle tier, which is just grass, which there's a trampoline on there, and there's a dog on there, and it's all looking like shit. And then you go up again, you got a 3rd tier, which when we moved in, it was a jungle. And I'm talking, the grass was up to my nipples and everything. So me and my boy Mitch spent a whole Saturday, like 5-6 hours on a Saturday, chopping that. And it's not even that big, but it's how, the garden's not that big, but it's how much there was. Chopping down stuff, rooting up everything. We chopped down that much. We didn't realise just how much privacy those bushes were giving us, because we cut it all down and it's quite a low fence. So when the people behind us are sat in their garden, because they're decking for some reason 50 inches off the floor, we can see their whole like shoulder and head when they're sat in their garden. And when they sit in their garden, if they do this, they can literally just see the whole of our house, our garden. It's kind of awkward. So we've brought up these expanding trellises that you just pull out and then stick on top of your fence to add a bit more privacy. So that worked out. But yeah, we want to get the garden done. So we want decking up the top. The quotes of that as like another 2.5, 3 grand. We want to take the grass up there and put AstroTurf down so it's less maintenance. Another 2, 3 grand. We want to redo the whole slabbing and all this over here, and that's like another 2, 3 grand. And I'm just like, I've just bought a house. Me, not my parents, not my uncles, my aunties, not anyone from a will. Didn't win the lottery. Didn't win the house in the lottery. Oh my God. So all these things. And my mum is like, you've been in your house 2 years, and she always points out my auntie and uncle. This year, I think it was this year. End of last year, start of this year, they finished renovating their whole garden. And my mum was like, your auntie's waited, I think she said like 30 years before they could renovate their garden. And they're in their 50s, 60s now, close to retirement age. They've just renovated their garden. Like there's sections to it and patios, pathways. My uncle's now got his own man cave, shed, garage, bar thing in the back of the garden. You know, it's such a nice garden. Our mum is like, this has took them 30 years. That is saving. That's with kids, and now they've got grandkids and all the saving they've had to do. So I'm like, yeah. My mum pointed out a good point. She was like, if you weren't paying your mortgage on this house, all the jobs you weren't doing, it literally would be a few months of mortgage saving. Like 6 months. Hold on. Yes, 6 months of mortgage saving. We can do one of those jobs. The decking, the middle, but man, yeah, so renovating it's expensive. I don't know why I thought it was cheap, it's just really expensive. And then people are like, oh, it's cheap if you do it yourself. Yes, if you know how. Sick of other people telling me to do my own AstroTurf, or I'll just buy some pallets and make your own decking. The fuck, this is not like woodwork to you. This is not, I'm not hands-on. I'm not a grafter, I'm not a labourer. I really wish I was. I'd never say anything bad about those people. I wish I was a builder. I wish I could just knock something up myself. I wouldn't even know what materials to buy, let alone what to do with them. Someone said to me, like, oh yeah, all you got to do is dig up your grass, level it off, get some weed thing, put the weed guard down, put some sand down, get the grass, roll it out. And I'm just like, you lost me at you need to go buy. I'm not rich, but I wish I was, because I'm one of these people that would just say, here's the money, do it. And don't get me wrong, I would more than happily get involved. If someone was coming to do my decking or they was coming to convert this, I'd be like, can I help? If they asked me to help, or if I said, can I help? And they said yes, I would still pay the full amount and get my hands dirty and help out. But no, doing it all by myself, I haven't got a fucking clue whatsoever. And back to what I said earlier, that's just once you've got the house. I don't know if you know how expensive it is buying a house. You've got to find your house, and you've got to get your deposit for the house, which is the most expensive thing. And then you get your deposit, and then you find out there are surveyor fees and lawyer fees. And if it's your first time buying, you're fine. If it's not your first time buying, you've got stamp duty, land tax. Oh man, it's all that money. And then you've got to redecorate. If you're buying a house, it's not like buying a flat for anyone that's bought a flat. Sometimes you can buy a flat and it's already, there's a word when you buy a flat and it's already done up in it. Furnished. Is it furnished? Yeah, it's already furnished. No. If you get a house that is already furnished, you are lucky. There is the one thing that we were saying when we were looking for a house is we wanted either all 3 of these things to be complete, or at least 2 of these 3 things had to be complete, and the third one couldn't be too much of a bad a fixer-upper. And that was, it had to have, the bathroom needs to be done, like pretty much untouchable. Maybe just change the paint or get some wallpaper, but I don't want to be switch up the whole bathroom. The kitchen, I want a kitchen to be done as well, and the boiler. The reason I picked them 3, people will do it as well. They're the 3 most expensive things in the house to do. Like to sort out a room, unless you've got a hole in the wall or the wall's falling apart, it needs plastering. You only ever really need to maybe change the flooring, paint over the walls, pull down wallpaper, which is a fucking tiring process, whether you've got a steamer or not. Tie down the wallpaper, do all that, and then keep it moving. With a bathroom, you've got the tiles, you've got bathtubs, toilets, sinks, showers. Did you, again, I wasn't prepared for this when I was looking for a house. Did you know that if you wanted to buy like a bathtub or a sink, it doesn't come as a collection? Like, I was looking at bathtubs when I was just pricing up how much a new bathroom would be, how much a new kitchen would be, how much a new boiler would be, just in case we found like the dream house that the kitchen needed doing. I was looking at bathtubs and I was like, hold on, the bathtub is one thing. You've then got to buy those side panels. They're separate. You know, the panels on the side of your bath, that doesn't come with your bath. That is separate. The taps, they are separate. The waste pipe and all sorts of things like that, that is separate. Same with your sinks. Same with the whole fucking kitchen. Come to think of it, like there's the cupboards, and then there's the topping, and then there's the doors, and then there's the handles, and there's the shelves that go inside. I was just like, fuck. I was like, there's nothing you can just buy. Like, you know, when you buy a TV, you just buy the TV. You don't have to buy a TV, then buy a remote, and then buy a frame, and then buy a stand. It just comes together. It's just there. Not with all these things. So, yeah, anyone that's looking at buying a house, the only bit of advice I can say to you is save, and then save again. And when you go looking, depending on what you want in life, I would say, one, make sure it's got a flat drive. If the drive's not flat, at least make sure the drive has been like tarmacked or block paved so you can park on there. Unless you're a gardener, then go for grass. Number two, have a flat back garden. Believe me, it doesn't matter when it's going to happen, but if you want decking or if you want to host people or have kids or do anything later on in life, you do not want a slanted garden. It's hella expensive when it comes to wanting to change things up. So get a flat garden. Number two would be, depending on what time of the year, make sure that boiler works. I brought a house, moved in, newborn baby, hot water doesn't work. Boiler kept tripping out. Literally, and then this is in the summer. So we got to the summer and I'm buying a new boiler in the summer because we can't get hot water. So that set me back a couple grand, but the boiler was working at the time. But yeah, the pilot light, it was one of those things where the pilot light went out every 3 seconds. And anytime someone went to put the hot water on, pilot light gone. And you're there having to try and relight the pilot light, and it was a ball ache. Make sure the boiler works. Make sure that the kitchen and bathroom are up to standards. Just make sure it's got a good kitchen, bathroom, and boiler. You preferably want all three of those things to be complete because they're the most expensive thing to do, and then you can sort out everything else at a later date, and you haven't got to worry about all of those costs. Yeah, you haven't got to worry about all of those costs in life, but yeah, it really, people are sitting here probably thinking, Myles, what was you expecting? I don't know. We don't get taught these things. Like, there should be a class in school. Like, I saw it somewhere. I think it might have been a meme, and it's the most realist thing ever. And it's like, you literally go from school, you know, the transition from from high school to college in the UK. It's a 6 weeks transition. In those 6 weeks, you are not educated on anything. So you need to think about this. I saw this. In school, when you are 16 years old, you have to ask permission to go to the toilet. You refer to your teachers as Mr. and Mrs. And you're forced to go to each and every lesson. And if you don't go to that lesson for whatever reason, you're in trouble. 6 weeks later, you're then expected to know what you want to do with your life, have total freedom, and be treated like an adult. There's no transition stage to it. It's literally just you go from asking permission to use the toilet one day. 6 weeks later, they expect you to be a budding young adult ready to take on life, and you're just like, fuck that. There is no science. Listen, I love science. Science is just a fun subject. Even though I couldn't tell you if I've used science in my life since leaving school, I wouldn't regret. Let's run through the curriculum, as they say, real quick. What have we got? Maths. Maths is an important subject. The algebra and trigonometry and Pythagoras theorem and all the extra bits, I don't know how necessary that is, but adding, subtracting, timesing, dividing, fractions, decimals, all that is minus numbers. They really that necessary? But I know what you're thinking as well. In this day and age, with the calculator on your phone, is maths necessary? Yes. I still truly believe that you should be able to do all of your times tables from 1 to 12 without the need of a calculator. I'm not saying you should be able to get it straight away, but I do believe without the use of a calculator, you should be able to navigate that times table in your head, add, divide, subtract. They should all be able to be done in your head, or even just back out your fingers and get them done. English is so, I don't know why I didn't start with this first. English is so important. Because if you can't count or if you can't add, I was gonna sit here and lie and say I wouldn't judge you. I'm gonna look at you a kind of way, unless you've got a learning difficulty. But if I just think like you just don't know maths, I'm gonna look at you the other way. But if you don't know like basic English, like if you can't, I'm not gonna say spell or read or write. See, that is English. I was gonna say I can't say that because people that are dyslexic. Again, if you're dyslexic, that is not your fault. Like you can't help that. But there are some people that struggle with the basic English, and especially when you're writing or typing every day. I just have the common courtesy of using proper language. You know what I mean? English literature, I don't think you need that. Science, like I said, you keep science. I think science is where some kids discover themselves. Like if you feel lost in a lot of subjects, I feel like science would really home it in on there. History would be an important lesson if you learn about anything in history that has any effect in life. There we go. I said it. But Henry VIII had 8 wives, and I feel like he created the Catholic Church because he wanted to get a divorce, and Protestants didn't believe in divorces, so he just made his own church to get a divorce. Sorry if I've just knocked the mic, so sorry if there's feedback there. So yeah, history should be taught because I feel like it's important to know your history. The fact that I'm in the UK and we never ever once learned about the things like the potato famine and the way that England treated Ireland. The fact that you don't learn about you learn about the British Empire and how they travelled the world, but you don't learn about the fuckery that they did. Like you don't learn about the fact that the apartheid in India/Pakistan, which used to be one country and then was split into 2, was the fault of the English. You don't understand that the reason why no Irish person likes any English person because the English tried to wipe them out, like blocked off Ireland, stopped all food going in there, poisoned all their farms, created a whole famine, tried to wipe out the whole existence of Irish people. The monarchs going as far back as like the 18 and 1700s when our kings chopped off the heads of every single ruler of Wales and all the rulers of Wales and Scotland. It's just like, we have a shit history, which I can see why they always try and avoid it. But no, don't just talk about the happy side of history. You need to talk about the whole real truth of history, because you'll happily talk about the Nazis in Germany. Talk about our dirt as well. Geography. Basic geography doesn't hurt anyone. I don't, like, you know, when you got into I still get confused how geography went from learning about where countries are to rock types. How, like, there are some things you learn in school that should only be used for a specific thing. Like, if I'm choosing to study geography, then yes, introduce me to sedimentary rocks and layered rocks and corrosion and the tectonic plates moving and all that stuff. Give me the basic geography. Show me a map of the world. Show me the continents. Show me what countries are in that continent. The capitals of a country. Why do countries have capitals? Generally don't know the answer to that because I'm just spitballing here. Why do countries have capitals? That is a fantastic question. Maybe I'll find out. Maybe I won't. Natural disasters, I'll take that, yeah. Let me know what a natural disaster is. Let me know how to survive one. Don't tell me how they're caused. I don't care about the plates and the underwater and the tsunami. Just let me know how I can survive one. I know with the tsunami, if you're at the beach and like the tide just gets pulled back all of a sudden, like quite far out, that's usually the sign of a tsunami, and you should leave immediately. Also, tsunamis happen all the time, just all the way out in the ocean. Like, they happen so far out in the ocean and they're so big that obviously they can't stay that big for the whole ocean, so they get smaller and smaller. Sometimes, before they even get into sight, a tsunami's already happened and just in the middle of the ocean. Fun fact for you there, depending on your definition of fun. Maths, English, science, geography, history, RE, religious education. Religious education should, personally, I think it should be, regardless of what your beliefs are, I still feel like you should just hear everyone out. That's the best way of doing it. Like, look, we're not forcing your child to be Christian or Muslim or Jewish or Buddhist or whatever other cults are out there. I mean, religions. Don't want to get attacked by the religious population now. But yeah, I feel like you should just learn about different religions, because you can take something from each of them. I'm someone that used to think religion was something, and now I'm just like, I believe in a God, not necessarily your God, but I believe there's a God out there, and I believe in the universe, and I believe in energy, and how energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred. But it's science, that one is. But I take that in life. Like, you can't create happiness, and you can't destroy happiness, and you can't create sadness. It's all transferred through things. It's a transference. But yeah, RE. I also do think if you're going to teach RE in schools, maybe you should have people from each of those religious backgrounds to come in and talk about it, or at least someone that's qualified enough to know about all these different religious teachings to then come in and talk to you about it, rather than Sarah from Gornal teaching me about Islam to then go home and her and her boyfriend sit on Facebook moaning about the Muslim population in the UK. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds there. Because how many kids out there probably think that, we'll go with Islam, they probably think Islam's a terrorist religion, and then they go to school. I don't know what they learn in school these days. I'm trying to remember what I learned about Islam. It's very close to Christianity, I know that much. And it's one of the oldest religions. The oldest religion? One of them. But yeah, so many of these things in their lives that can help them fight this rhetoric when they get home to their racist ass or ignorant ass parents. They could be like, oh, no, not all Muslims are bad. You know, some Christians used to believe things like that as well, but I don't see you boycotting Christians and trying to burn down churches. Again, I'm not getting into this. Stay away from religion, Myles. But yeah, that should be taught. What else was taught is PE. PE is the most important. This is not a shock to anyone, because it's 10 years since I've been at schools, and I already gave you my excuses to why I feel like a fat blob these days. It's just from just a lack of being myself. PE is probably the most important subject in school. Because I'm not saying this for everyone, but sometimes you go to school 5 years, you do PE however many times a week, you then leave school, stop doing PE, and then you bump into people like a couple years later, and you're like, you really missed those PE lessons, yeah. So the only bit of actually like PE, I think it sounds like I'm joking, but you need to understand, like, PE for some people, especially, that is the only form of exercise that they get. Just think about that. The only form of exercise they get. Like, I don't care how far the school's going to be for me. Like, she's walking to school. I'm not getting one of these parents that sits outside the school in the car to go and drive 2 minutes. I used to get everyone says that the times are different now, but when I was in year 4, how old are you? Oh, hold on. I'm going to try and work out how old you are in year 4, because off the top of my head, I can't think how old you are. How old are you in year 4? I can't think off the top of my head how old I am in year 4. But, here we go. Year 4 is 8 to 9. Key stage 2, 8 to 9. So when I was 8, 9 years old, I used to get the bus. So I used to come out of my house, walk to the top of my road, cross over a main road, like a dual carriageway, cross over, way to the bottom of that hill, see the bus come in, walk up the road a little bit more to the bus stop with some high school kids and other kids that went to my primary school, get on the bus, take, anyone watching this, it's from the bottom of Regent Road to Oakham. So it's like on a bus, it feels like a 10-minute drive. It's like a 5-10 minute drive on the bus by myself, 35p. That's another one as well. I don't know how much a bus is these days, but I used to pay 35p for my trip on the bus. And that was literally, get the bus, jump off the bus right outside of school, go to school, come back out of school, 35p, get the bus back home. And again, my mum's already left to go to work because she works in Birmingham. If it was one of those days where I just felt like, I might get some sweets. Better get back then, 35p, get your sweets. You had the pennies. Remember, shops used to do penny sweets. They used to do like the penny sweets, the 2p sweets. You could get 5p sweets. I could get 3 Freddos and a lollipop. So some days I would just walk to school. I wouldn't even get the bus. I would literally sack the bus off, walk all the way up the hill, knock on for a friend if I was walking when I got to a certain point, and then walk the rest of the way with them, just so I have some change to go to school. And nowadays, parents pick up their kids because their kid lives 1 minute away, but they don't want their kid to be walking home. It's just, it is crazy. But no, yeah. So I do believe that in school they should get rid of some of these subjects, or maybe stop teaching these subjects as often, and put things in like taxes. You know, like a lesson on taxes, and maybe only when you hit year 11. Maybe year 7, 8, and 9 and 10s don't need to worry about it. Or maybe you start like working it in slightly when you hit 16, like taxes, how insurance works, what is insurance, what's a job versus a career. Because in school, you think about that, in school they force you to do these set subjects from year 7, 8, and 9. And then in year 9, they say, oh, what subjects would you like to learn about for the next 2 years? And you still have no idea what you want to do in life because you haven't had any experiences to then tell you what you want to do in life. And then after you've just picked those 2, you then need to start a year later, you then need to start thinking about college. You then have to start thinking about what other subjects you want to do. And you're like, oh, do I just do the same thing I did here? But then you go to college, and college has got so much more options than what you would have had for your GCSEs. So now you're like, oh, this looks fun, and that sounds good, and that sounds cool. Next thing you know, you've just took an art major or a dance major or a B-Tech in sport or business. Then you hit the real world, and you find out none of that means absolutely shit. None of it. It's, oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm trying my hardest not to end on such a depressing thought, because everyone listening to this, I'm assuming we made it through the school process. But yeah, they need to change what we're taught in school and just help people be just a tad bit more prepared when you hit the real world. Because not everyone out there has mommy and daddy to help them through these things. I'm one of them. Not financial. No, that's a lie. My mum did help me financially. Like, she didn't buy me the house, but she did help. She brought a lot of stuff for my house, and she brought a lot of stuff for my daughter, her granddaughter. So yeah, there are some people like that don't have that at all, so I know I'm lucky there. I used to be one of those kids that used to hate kids I used to think so bad of a kid if your mom and dad brought you your first car. Now that I'm older and wiser, go you, lucky fucking you, and go you. Nepotism is real, because you believe me, whatever I've got when Mina is old enough, if she can have it, she will have it. She ain't buying her own car. I will buy her first car. I would buy her first house if I could. I would pay for her wedding. I'd say pay for her wedding. She's not getting married because she doesn't like boys. Or she can get married to her. No, you girls are toxic as well. Yeah, she'll be cool. She'll chill with me. It's me and my baby all day for the rest of our lives. However, can you say, for podcast listeners, I'm just breathing to let people that are watching the podcast know just how cold this garage actually is and why I'm so desperate to get it converted. Because you know what it is? It's the summer. It has the effect that when it's cold outside, it's really cold in here. But when it's hot outside, it's really hot in here. It's like your car. You know, like it's winter, so you get in your car and you think, oh, I'm inside, but it's somehow colder. And then the summer comes along and it's really hot outside and you get in your car and it's even hotter. That is my garage. So when I'm in the summer, I never think about wanting to renovate because it's just warm. I used to just come in and sit on the sun lounge, just like you saw me sitting in the first episode. And I used to just chill. And now, it's getting cold. I don't know if you can see, the sofa's starting to get like white shit on it. I think it's mold or damp. I have to keep wiping it down. Oh man, who knows? But yeah, hold on. That is still hot and I haven't put the lid on top. I'm not paid by this brand, but go invest in one of these thermal bottle guys. Say no to plastic, because David Attenborough doesn't like plastic. But that is enough of the rambling. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Myles High Club podcast. Until the next time, I've been Myles, you've been you. Peace.